Hello everybody, this is the Heine Delta 1 dermatoscope. Now today I'm just showing the equipment. To learn how to use it in more detail and to interpret what you see, please do come along to one of our dermoscopy for absolute beginners courses. So this is the Delta 1, beautiful piece of equipment this. And what we have here is, I'll just show you around like this. This button here is the on-off switch. So you turn that on and the light comes on. Now what you've got here is on this side, we have another button and a little blue light and a green light at the bottom. This blue light is showing us that it's in polarized mode. And if I press the button above it, it will switch between polarized and non-polarized mode. And you can just see the changing quality of the light as I do that. And you can tell if it's in polarized mode or not by whether that blue light is on. So when it's on, it's in polarized mode. The green light here is just showing that it's got enough charge. And the charger point here is a micro USB, the same as your mobile phone charger. So you should have one of those around in your room at work, hopefully, and it should be easy to charge. The button on the other side changes the light intensity. And if I press this, you can see that we've got 3 different light intensities. That's particularly useful if your eyes are sensitive to bright light. So you want to be looking at something with a lower light intensity, but you're going to want the higher light intensities when it comes to taking photos. So that's a very nice little thing there. So that's that one. Now to focus the Delta 1, this is the part that twists. This bit here twists, and as I twist it, you can see it extends the end plate here, which is coming out and going back in again. Your focus for a flat lesion is going to be not quite fully extended. It doesn't have a marker on the side to tell you, so you're going to have to put it on the skin to actually check and see. And you're going to have to check visually to see whether it is focused or not, and you must always focus it before you attach your camera to take the picture. Now, assuming you're using a phone as your camera, there is an adapter like this, which you can buy separately. And this will attach via this little sticky bit here onto a mobile phone case. So you can line it up over your camera on the back of your phone like that and stick that on. And that will then work very nicely as a camera, but that obviously will only work for the one phone that you've stuck that onto. Your alternative is to use one of the Dermlight adapters. These will also work. So this is a Dermlight adapter with an iPhone attached to it, and this is the universal Dermlight attachment, phone attachment, that you can put any phone into it here, and that will then attach it like that. And when you put your phone on, all of these attach magnetically, and you can hear it clicks very nicely. Now, a little tip, when you put it on, you may find that the graticule, which shows you the measurements of the lesion that you're looking at, isn't lined up perfectly, and you may be tempted to line it up by just twisting the phone around. If you find that doing that changes the focus, that's because, as you can see, when I move this, when you move the phone around, it changes the focus. So the thing to do is to focus it properly on the skin and then put the camera on exactly as you want it to be, and don't wiggle it around from there. And that's a really useful tip for getting decent photos with it. I'll just put that away. Now, the other thing with this is it's got a really nice big end plate. This means that you can see a lot of lesion in one go. Sometimes you can even see more than one lesion in one go. And this is nice and perfectly flat. So you need to be careful not to scratch it. And this comes with a hard case like this, which is excellent in that it opens up sideways, and then you can just rest your scope in it whilst you're using it, or in between uses. And so it's fully protected, so it's not going to get scratched here. And even if you put it down that way, it's not going to get scratched there either. Really good case that it comes with there. Let me put that away. In terms of cleaning the end plate, as you can see, there is this little gap here where you can get dust behind the end plate. It doesn't get very much dust behind the end plate, but you may need to take the end plate off in order to clean the inside of the end plate, or you may need to take the end plate off in order to look at a lesion which has vessels on the surface that you don't want to compress. Now, to take the end plate off the Delta 1 is very easy. It just clicks off like this, comes off like that, and you can then either use it without the end plate on, or you can clean both sides of the end plate and then put it back on. Really important thing when you put it back on is make sure you hear the snap. If you don't hear the snap, then you may not have put it on properly, and you have to be careful because it might fall off. So do listen out for the snap to put it on properly, but it goes on very easily. That's the end plate. We've got a very nice large end plate, which means that we can see large lesions very clearly. But you may find that that's too large if you're looking at an area where it's concave. So for example, the side of the nose on the face, and there is available a small contact end plate available separately, which works with this. It doesn't have disposable caps to use for hygiene, but having said that, it's largely enclosed, and this end plate does have this extra rim around it, so it's very easy to clean the end plate, but you can use it with a piece of cling film over it as well if you prefer. The charger type, as I'd said previously, is going to be the same as your mobile phone. One thing to just be aware of, though, is that if it doesn't have any charge and you plug it in, you can't turn it on whilst it's charging. Some of them you can, some of them you can't. This one you can't turn on whilst it's charging, so you need to charge it up and then just take the charger out in order to turn it on. And that should be pretty straightforward to do, really. So that's the charger. It's a good size. It is a handheld size, it's pocket size, but because you don't want to be damaging this, ideally, you're going to keep it in its case most of the time when you're not using it, and in between uses when you are using it. So this was the Heine Delta 1. It's an excellent dermatoscope, very good for sharing around, very easy to use, simple, very simple to use because it's got that nice on-off switch. It tells you when it's in polarized and non-polarized mode. It's got 3 light intensities, comes with this nice case, and it will work with either the Heine or the Dermlight magnetic adapters. So that was the Heine Delta 1. Bear in mind that I am just showing you the equipment today. To learn how to use it and to interpret what you see, please do come along to one of our Dermoscopy for Absolute Beginners courses, and you can access those through the PCDS website, which is pcds.org.uk.